a company starting with leather supplies, then shifting to toys, later moving towards plastic manufacturing, and ending up as a video games company, reminds us of one thing. Not all successful businesses have not started strong. Many start weak and get strong later in the long run. A few start strong and get weak eventually, while many others start as something else and find their strength in a whole different niche. One of the third categories is the ColecoVision. A video game company, ColecoVision was not initially a name in the tech market. The company was a whole different thing from the start. The company Coleco or Connecticut started as a leather company in 1932 and later shifted to the tech industry in 1976. However, on its journey, the company went through several challenges and underwent two major transformations. Before we jump to ColecoVision's incredible mark in the tech industry, let's dive into the roots to trace what Coleco started as and how things shaped the company to become a renowned name in the tech industry within 40 years of business. And lastly, what caused it to go down after years of enormous success? Watch till the end to see how things can turn in the blink of an eye. 1932. The start, Coleco as a leather company. Starting as a leather company under the name Connecticut Leather Company in 1932, Coleco underwent several changes before gaining profit as a leather business. Maurice Greenberg watered the soil in 1932 when leather goods were in high demand. The company started by supplying leather and shoe findings. The company later started selling rubber footwear in 1938. However, the major focus was still leather at that time. Though leather was in high demand back then, unfortunately, Coleco couldn't perform well in the market in the initial stages. However, the company was hopeful, and it witnessed its first turning point around 1945. The Connecticut Leather Company's efforts and investments paid off around 1945, when the government ordered leather soles for thousands of soldiers. Coleco undoubtedly did a huge business during World War II. This massive order was no less than a milestone for a company that waited more than a decade to see success. However, it didn't stop there. By 1950, Coleco came up with an incredible idea for their business that not only proved successful, but laid the way for so many new and exciting transformations in Coleco's journey. 1950, the first transformation. Coleco as a toys company. Coleco, still keeping its roots as a leather company, introduced a fun kit for kids. This kit would allow kids to design their moccasins using the material and leather goods added to the kit. This top kit marked the company's first step in the toy industry. Later, the company also started producing vacuum-forming plastic, which made Coleco one of the leading toy companies by the end of the decade. Noticing a profitable shift from leather goods to toys, Coleco decided to take a big decision. By 1961, Coleco underwent a significant transformation by going public and officially changing its name from Connecticut Leather Company to Coleco Industries, Inc. This marked a strategic shift as the company expanded beyond leather goods and moved into plastics manufacturing. This transition allowed Coleco to diversify its product offerings, particularly into toys and recreational products. The company began producing popular items like plastic pools, sleds, and other molded plastic goods, which eventually paved the way for its later success in the toy and video game markets. At its peak, Coleco was a leading name in the toy industry, known for its innovation and ability to capture consumer trends. After transitioning to plastic manufacturing, Coleco began producing popular outdoor recreational toys such as above-ground swimming pools, sleds, and ride-on toys. These products were widely popular in North America and helped Coleco build a solid presence in the toy market. Cabbage Patch Kids dolls, the hot seller. Coleco's greatest toy success came with the launch of the Cabbage Patch Kids dolls. These dolls became a massive cultural craze, with stores often running out of stock due to overwhelming demand. Each doll's unique appearance and accompanying adoption certificate created a personal connection with consumers, which fueled the trend. By the end of 1983, Coleco had sold over 3 million dolls, generating hundreds of millions in revenue. The Cabbage Patch Kids became one of the most iconic toy lines of the 1980s. However, A turning point in the company's vision as a video game company marked a decline in its success as a top company as well. 1976, the last and major transformation, Coleco as a video game company. In 1976, Coleco made a bold move that would mark its entry into the booming video game industry, the launch of the Telstar console series, Coleco Telstar, When Nature Helps. At the time, home video games were an exciting new frontier, and the Pong craze was on hype. Every company dreamed of making Pong clones, but it was quite a challenge. One of the reasons was companies needed to use the general instrument Pong on a chip, which was in such massive demand to later face a shortage. Coleco seized the opportunity to ride the wave as it ordered chips as one of the first companies to place orders. The company put those chips in a console called Coleco Telstar. The Telstar was a dedicated console designed to play Pong-style games, which were all the rage after the success of Atari's Pong. What set the Telstar apart was its affordability and variety. Over the next 2 years, Coleco released more than a dozen versions of the Telstar, each offering different features, making it more exciting for gamers. Some had color displays, others included light gun attachments for shooting games, and a few even mimicked arcade-style controls. The Telstar series became a hit, helping Coleco establish itself in the rapidly growing home gaming market. However, the company's enthusiasm led to overproduction. With so many Telstar variants hitting the shelves, the market quickly became saturated. Competing Pong clones flooded stores, and demand dropped sharply. Adding to the trouble, technical issues with some Telstar models resulted in costly product recalls. By 1978, Coleco was left with unsold inventory and mounting financial losses, forcing it to abandon the Telstar line. The Telstar era was a roller coaster ride, a story of ambition, innovation, and a tough lesson in market saturation. Yet without it, Coleco might never have claimed its place in video game history. Despite the setback, this bold move laid the groundwork for Coleco's future gaming success, most notably with the ColecoVision in 1982, which would later become a major competitor in the console wars. The ColecoVision and the competitors. The release of ColecoVision in 1892 proved to be a major milestone for the company, with an enormous sales rate and demand. This was good and even incredible for so many reasons compared to other consoles available in the market at the time. However, 4 major reasons paved the way for this console's unbeatable success: the price, the performance, the expansion, and exclusives. The price. When the ColecoVision launched in 1982, it was priced at $199, equivalent to roughly $600 today when adjusted for inflation. Despite this price point, ColecoVision offered exceptional value compared to its competitors, thanks to its superior hardware and bundled content. Talking of the competitors, Atari and Intellivision were famous names in the video gaming industry. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the prices with the rating, because at the end of the day, it's not only the price that matters, but the features that we get in that price. ColecoVision, priced at $199 with Donkey Kong. Atari 2600, priced at $125, which is indeed a lower priced but less powerful. Intellivision, priced at $299 with strong graphics but lacked ColecoVision's arcade game library. While the ColecoVision was pricier than the Atari 2600, its superior performance, bundled content, and ability to play Atari games made it a standout value, especially for gamers seeking arcade-quality experiences at home. The performance. Talking of the performance, the ColecoVision stood out as a superior gaming console. It succeeded in performance largely due to its advanced hardware, which delivered impressive performance compared to competitors like the Atari 2600 and Intellivision. Here's how ColecoVision excelled over its competitors with high competition and sudden hit in the tech industry. The ColecoVision featured a TMS992-8A video display processor, which supported 16 colors on screen at once, far more than the Atari 2600's 8-color limit. Moreover, it had a 256 by 192 resolution, offering sharper and more detailed visuals than both Atari 2600 and Intellivision. This allowed ColecoVision games to closely resemble their arcade counterparts, which marked a major selling point for the ColecoVision console. ColecoVision even surpassed in visual fidelity, especially due to its unique and high-performance games. Games like Donkey Kong, Zaxxon, and Venture looked remarkably close to their arcade versions, giving ColecoVision a strong advantage in visual fidelity. The ColecoVision used a Zilog Z80A processor running at 3.58 MHz, significantly faster than the Atari 2600's 1.19 MHz processor. This extra power allowed for smoother animations, more complex gameplay mechanics, and faster action, essential for replicating arcade-style games. While not revolutionary in sound design, the ColecoVision's audio was still richer and more dynamic than the Atari 2600's simple tones, enhancing the gaming experience. ColecoVision cartridges had a larger storage capacity, enabling games to include more detailed graphics, complex levels, and better sound effects. The edge? ColecoVision made it possible for so many reasons, but one edge has a key role for sure. All the competitors' consoles were designed in the 70s with less modified features. However, when ColecoVision stepped in to take the front seat, it had more modified and modern features to incorporate into its consoles at a lower price. Expansion modules. Though all the other features made ColecoVision a unique console in the market, the expansion module was the most interesting and innovative feature of the console, ultimately generating more sales and high demand. Expansion Module Number 1. Module 1 was a clever add-on that allowed the console to play Atari 2600 games. This unexpected move gave ColecoVision owners instant access to a massive library of popular titles without needing to own an Atari console. But how did this bold strategy come about, and why was it such a game changer? A clever strategy in a competitive market. By 1982, the Atari 2600 had already been on the market for 5 years and dominated the industry with a massive catalog of games. Instead of ignoring this, Coleco took a daring approach. They built an expansion module that effectively turned the ColecoVision into an Atari 2600. This meant ColecoVision owners could enjoy not only Coleco's growing library of high-quality games, but also the Atari 2600's extensive collection of hits like Space Invaders, Pitfall, and Adventure. For gamers, this was a huge win. Buying a ColecoVision with the expansion module number 1 offered the best of both worlds: cutting-edge graphics for new arcade-style games and access to hundreds of Atari titles, all without purchasing 2 consoles. How clear an intellectual act Coleco made to stand out in the saturated market. However, it remained the most hyped legal battle between the two. But the question was, how did Coleco get away with this? Interestingly, Coleco managed to pull this off legally by reverse engineering the Atari 2600's hardware. Since Atari's console design wasn't patented, Coleco engineers found a way to replicate its functionality without directly copying proprietary components. This bold move sparked tension between the two companies, but Coleco's clever legal strategy held up. The expansion module became a powerful marketing tool. Instead of being seen as just another new console, the ColecoVision now appealed to both new gamers and loyal Atari fans. Consumers saw the ColecoVision as a 2-in-1 console, making its $199 price tag even more appealing. The expansion module wasn't just a smart feature, it was a groundbreaking moment in console competition. By offering compatibility with another platform's library, Coleco effectively turned Atari's strength into its advantage. In a market where gamers often had to choose between competing systems, Coleco found a way to say, why not have both, but in one console? This clever strategy played a major role in ColecoVision's early success, proving that sometimes the best way to win the game is to change the rules entirely. Exclusives! In 1981, as Coleco prepared to launch its groundbreaking ColecoVision console, the company made a strategic move that would significantly boost its appeal, securing key exclusive game licenses that set it apart from competitors. One of the major victories was the release of Donkey Kong: The Game Changer. One of Coleco's biggest victories in 1981 was securing the home console rights to Donkey Kong from Nintendo. This was a monumental deal since Donkey Kong was one of the hottest arcade hits at the time. Coleco not only acquired the rights, but also successfully bundled Donkey Kong with every ColecoVision console when it launched in 1982. This exclusive partnership was a game changer for two reasons. ColecoVision's superior hardware allowed Donkey Kong to look and play remarkably close to its arcade counterpart, a major advantage over the pixelated, simplified versions found on consoles like the Atari 2600. By including Donkey Kong as a free pack-in game, ColecoVision owners instantly had access to one of the most popular titles of the time without additional cost. Another exclusive Coleco secured was Turbo, a fast-paced racing game by Sega. Turbo was a visual spectacle for its time, featuring detailed car sprites, winding roads, and immersive driving mechanics. ColecoVision's ability to handle fast-moving graphics made Turbo one of the most impressive home racing games of the era, even unmatched by Atari 2600 or Intellivision. Venture, a popular arcade dungeon crawler, was another key title that Coleco brought home. Known for its challenging gameplay and colorful graphics, Venture became a standout hit for ColecoVision players looking for adventure-style games. Coleco also secured Mousetrap, a maze-based arcade game similar to Pac-Man, but with unique mechanics like customizable maze doors and power-ups. Its strategic gameplay added depth to the genre, giving ColecoVision another strong exclusive. By locking down these key titles in 1981, Coleco ensured that its console launched with a powerful lineup of games that couldn't be matched for quality or exclusivity. This strategy positioned ColecoVision as the ultimate choice for arcade-quality gaming at home, giving it a significant edge over competitors when it hit the market in 1982. So by 1982, ColecoVision was everywhere. A company that started as a leather supplier had now become a shining star in the video game industry. Who knew a disastrous downfall was waiting for the company to fall a year ahead? They say, once a moon is not always a moon. 1983 to 1985, the downfall of Coleco. And here's the most heartbreaking part. The years from 1983 to 1985 marked the bankruptcy of Coleco, a major sword in the years of the company's success. But what caused it? The unfortunate release of Atom Computer. The release of the Coleco Atom Computer in 1983 is often remembered as one of the most disastrous product launches in tech history. Despite ambitious goals and innovative features, Atom's debut was plagued by technical issues, poor design choices, and rushed production, all of which contributed to Coleco's financial decline. The reasons? Coleco hurried the Atom Computer to market in 1983, hoping to capitalize on the booming home computer trend. However, this aggressive timeline resulted in a product that felt incomplete and poorly tested. Many units shipped with severe hardware issues, causing frustration among early adopters. The Atom became notorious for its alarming 30% failure rate. One of the most infamous problems was that turning on the computer could sometimes erase all data from its digital storage tapes, a catastrophic flaw for a machine marketed as a family-friendly word processor and educational tool. The Atom's power supply was housed in its printer, meaning the entire system wouldn't function if the printer failed, which it often did. This design flaw left users stranded if just one component broke. Additionally, while the Atom boasted impressive specs for its price, like 80 kilobytes of RAM, double that of some competitors, these advantages were overshadowed by its reliability issues. Coleco aggressively marketed the Atom as a powerful yet affordable home computer that could compete with systems like the Commodore 64 and Apple II. Priced at $725, it seemed appealing, but its constant malfunctions and technical frustrations destroyed consumer confidence. The flood of defective units resulted in costly product returns for Coleco. This overwhelmed the company's finances, wiping out much of the profit generated by its successful ColecoVision console and Cabbage Patch Kids toys. 1988, the end of Coleco. The Atom Computer's failure cost Coleco an estimated $100 million, accelerating the company's financial decline. Despite attempts to recover, Coleco never regained its momentum and filed for bankruptcy in 1988. The toys business also closed, with the company selling its stock to another toy company the same year. The Atom Computer's failure was a textbook example of how rushing a product to market, no matter how innovative, can backfire if quality and reliability aren't prioritized. For Coleco, what should have been a leap into the computer industry turned into a devastating misstep. But that's how businesses are: unpredictable and risky. What do you think about Coleco's journey passing through various transformations? Should the company have kept ambitions high, or was it a fair decision to announce bankruptcy? Let's chat in the comments below. If you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We will see you with another inspiring story soon.